Um, so that's obviously the same thing every other team's doing. So it's part of the process here. So be a lot of transactions, and like I said, we'll just work our way through them. Obviously, looking forward to the kickoff dinner tonight. It's always a great event. Honor our recognize the things that the team's done in terms of community service and Ron Burton Award winner and so forth. So I think that's always a great day for our team to see, not that they don't see, but continue to see what we do off the field as well as on the field. Such as the uh, Haiti trip and so forth. So, but just plugging away here, and um, like I said, the big thing today, and honestly through the week, I'm sure there'll be a lot of transactions throughout the league, and so we'll see how all that plays out.
Coach, is this about the busiest day of the calendar for you?
Well, in terms of player transactions, yeah, I mean there'll be, we've already had about 300 or whatever it is, 320, well, like 350, whatever it's been, and there's another 1,000. So it's about 1,300 players over the course of the last whatever 14 days. But there'll be things all through the week. I mean, there'll be a lot of players today, and then there'll be others through the course of the week. Obviously, practice squad will be start that tomorrow and so forth. So see how it all goes. But yeah, it's busy. It's a lot busier for our personnel department, trying to keep track of all those guys, and talking to other teams, and figuring out if there's any conversations to be had and so forth. But that's and that's what this really, not just today, but this whole week is what it's been too. It started back on, I don't know, Thursday, Friday, when teams started releasing guys after they played that final preseason game.
Bill, I know you talked around the draft about just a coordinated, combined effort between, Dave Ziegler, Elliott Wolf, Matt Patricia being hands-on with the draft. With this day, how would you describe just the collaboration, who's leading, how much input is from pro scouts and just everybody involved?
Yeah, I'd say more similar to free agency, just because it's all pro players. Um, Certainly, there's some relevance to college because some of these guys have only played 2 or 3 preseason games, and so there's a lot of college information on them as well. But yeah, it's more like free agency with some of the same people you mentioned, plus people in the pro department with Steve Cargile and his staff. But yeah, certainly Elliot, Dave, Matt, play a key role in that.
Bill, prior to N'Keal Harry getting injured, had you seen the type of progress that you were perhaps hoping to see in this year for him?
Well, I think N'Keal had a good camp. Again, last year was a lot different for all of us, so it's hard to compare last year to anything. But really just looking at this year, I thought N'Keal had a good camp, and glad we have him. He's made, think he'll make a big contribution to our team. We'll see how it all goes, and from a time standpoint of when he'll be able to, get back on the field. But I know he's working hard, and is making progress with his rehab, and so we'll just keep monitoring that and see how it goes.
Bill, yesterday in talking about Nick and Quinn, just noting how very competitive that situation was. Is there any more clarity as to where that stands this morning?
Yeah, we'll announce all our transactions after we've made them.
Along the same lines, any more clarity on the quarterback to start
Yeah,
this season?
same answer. Yeah.
Bill, there was a clip of Cam and Mac from Sunday's preseason game of Cam wanting a high five from Mac. He just missed it. Did you see that clip? And how have you
No, I
seen,
missed it.
how have you seen their relationship develop since the beginning of preseason?
I think our players have good relationships, all the way across the board. Team's been very, veteran players have been great with the younger players in terms of helping them. Young players have been great about, asking questions and, say actively working on suggestions and, comments from veteran players. I wouldn't say that's always the case, but I think on this team it's been, noticeable in a very positive direction, certainly between those two players, including Brian Hoyer and Mac and Cam. So, and, Stid when he's been here. So, yeah, that seems all positive to me. You'd have to ask them about that specifically. I mean, it's not really, I can't talk about somebody else's relationship. That's really something for them to talk about. But there's been a lot of good interaction on our team at all positions.
Bill, earlier this summer, I think it was Nikhil's agent put out that he requested a trade, and I know you just said you think he'll make a contribution to this. Did him and his agent essentially rescind the trade request? How did that go down?
How do it go down?
Well, Nikhil's agent requested.
Yeah, look, whatever conversations are between, agents, players, myself, like those are all private conversations.
Safe to say you guys are certainly on the same page.
Yeah, I never talked to his agent. All right, so like you'd have to ask his agent whatever he did or didn't say. I don't even know. I'm a coach. Nikhil's a player. I think we have a good player-coach relationship. We've talked. So whatever somebody else said or did or whatever, I mean, you should talk to them about that.
Bill, what's stood out to you about J.J. Taylor this summer?
But JJ's continued to work hard and improve. He's made a lot of progress in the return game, handling the ball and decision making, things like that, as well as offensively. Carrying the ball in the running game, patience, run reads, and in the passing game, route running, blitz pickup. I mean, he still has work to do, like all young players do, but he's definitely made a lot of progress and had a lot of opportunities in preseason that. Obviously weren't there last year, but he had an opportunity to do that, and I think that's certainly helped him. He's has a running style that's difficult for some defenders to tackle. He's made some yards on his own, and those are the kind of things that are hard to see in a practice setting, but show up in the games. So it's important for that position, just like it's important for the guys that are tackling for them to show their ability to tackle in game situations. So there's some things that show up in games that we just either can't evaluate or have much less of an evaluation on in practice. We do a tackling drill, but it's not quite the same as game tackling. So, been good to see that, and I think he's done well with it. It's improved quite a bit.
Coach, what have you seen from Gunnar Olszewski's development as a wide receiver specifically?
Yeah, Gunner's made improvements too. Same thing. He's been able to play multiple spots for us, and has improved his route running technique and overall receiver skills. Similar to JJ, still has ways to go. I don't think he's a finished product yet, but certainly a lot better than what it was. He works hard. He's made a lot of improvement. Continues to. He's smart. He's able to play multiple positions. So, he's come a long way, and I think there's still some areas in front of him that he can get better in.
Final question, Joe?
How would you characterize the preseason and training camp that Cam Newton has had?
Again, last year was totally different. So I feel like everybody's way ahead of where they were last year. Certainly, he started at a much higher point than what he did last year. So, definitely moving in the right direction. Okay, thanks a lot. All right.
Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponent? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against.